I'm Calvin, and I ain't tripping. Are we building monsters today? Next, I ain't tripping. How you doing tonight? I'm Calvin, and I ain't tripping. Tonight on I Ain't Tripping, I want to ask a question. Are we building monsters? Before we watch this video, I want to say be sure to subscribe and to share. And when we watch this video, I want to warn you because of some of the words, but let's just roll the video.
He left her paralyzed and blind. Kendrick Morris was supposed to serve 65 years in prison, but an appeals court ordered Morris resentenced because he was a teenager when that crime happened. Well, today, the judge came down even harder on him. Fox 13's Aaron Mesmer is here to explain exactly what happened. Aaron.
Linda, when Kendrick Morris was initially sentenced, the law prevented him from receiving life in prison because he was too young. That law has since been changed, and with Morris's fate back in the hands of a Hillsborough County judge, that judge made a very clear decision.
Life sentences are the only appropriate sentences in this case.
A life sentence for a rapist who left a young woman for dead 9 years ago.
I want to say that it's a victory, but it seems wrong to say that.
Kendrick Morris showed little emotion as the judge read his decision. Afterward, the loved ones of the woman he nearly killed shared a tearful embrace.
I believe justice was served, but in the end, you know, both lives now are sentenced to life.
Life in prison is the outcome Anna Donato wanted for Morris. In 2008, he was 16 years old when he raped and beat Anna's then 18-year-old sister, Queena, outside the Bloomingdale Library, leaving her paralyzed and blind.
I know that she needs the closure.
Closure has been hard to find for Queena and is something her family keeps praying for, as they did over the weekend. Morris was initially sentenced to 65 years without parole, but an appeals court determined he needed to have the chance for parole because he was a juvenile at the time of the crime and ordered him to be resentenced.
These crimes were particularly atrocious and cruel.
Judge Chet Tharp read through Morris's crimes, which include another violent rape in 2007. The judge could have shortened the sentence. Instead, he lengthened it, and he got choked up as he recounted Queena's story.
She was unresponsive. Having suffered major injuries.
Always difficult to relive that day, and but it's just a reminder of how horrific the crime was.
That's a reminder Anna gets every day. Not even a harsher sentence for her sister's attacker can change that.
It's not over. It's going to be a lifetime commitment, taking care of my sister.
And a doctor told the judge he thought Morris could be rehabilitated, but the judge clearly didn't agree. Morris will be able to have his case reviewed in 2031. That's 20 years after he was first sentenced. Cynthia?
Okay.
Whenever I come across a story that's like this, it's really hard for me to really be objective because I see the story on two sides. So what I'm going to do the best I can is I'm just going to give you a quick recap of the story. Judge Chet Tharp, who originally sentenced Kendrick Morris in 2011 to 65 years in prison, has sentenced him to life in prison. Twitter adds info and privacy that these crimes are particularly atrocious and cruel, said Judge Thorpe. Queen, the victim, who was 16 years old, Morris smashed in her skull and raped her. She is now blind and paralyzed. She can't speak or even swallow on her own. When she expression something is through facial expressions and sounds. She usually is yelling out or crying. See, I got to be on both sides because I love God. So I look on the one side. This young man didn't commit one rape. He committed two violent rapes. One was of an elderly woman, and the second was of a young woman, 18 years old. Now, the 18-year-old rape was more violent than the elderly one. He smashed in the young woman's skull, and then he raped her. He repeatedly beat her while raping her, is what the news says. It was so bad that when they got to the woman, she wasn't unresponsive. They thought she might be dying or dead. This young man was only 16 or 17 at the time. They didn't give an exact age. They said he was 18, but they had to be 16 or 17 for them not to be able to give him a full sentence. This young man has just received life in prison for rape. Not of one person, but of two. He's affected several lives along the way. His family and the families of these two women that he raped. When I look at this, when I saw this video, I first felt sad that another young black man was going to jail, and his life was basically over. This young black man has gone to jail for life for two rapes. I read up on the young man on his recent stuff, and it says that in jail he's got his degree, and he's actually has a higher than average IQ. The information that I got also said that out of all the years he's been in jail, he's virtually had no incidents or issues. See, some people when I say, "Oh, so what?" I call it a shame. I call it a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. I call it a shame because what drove this man to commit such a heinous act, such a violent act? See, psychiatrists have stated that rape isn't about sex. It's about power. It's about control. It's about fear. I look at this and I think about this young man. I say, what things did he have to endure in his own life? What psychological trauma did he go through in his own life at a young age to end up in this place? To end up attacking an elderly woman and a young one. See, most criminals have an MO. This MO is they follow it almost every time, same way. They do this. They have a specific age range. They have a specific color. Everything. It's usually the same type of girl, same type of boy, same type of age range, same all everything, because they have a specific type. This young man raped an elderly woman and a young woman. What was his type? What was his spectrum? What happened to him? Who touched him? Who hurt him? who degraded him to a point that he felt that he had to lash out at somebody else in the same way. See, it wasn't an attack for money. If you look at the man, the young man if you look at the man in his face, he's a good-looking young man. It's not like he didn't look like he could get a girlfriend. I mean, he looked a little nerdy, of course. But if he'd got him some, took off the glasses and got him some contacts, he was good. Strong, strapping. So what in his life went so wrong to put him in this place? What in his life went so crooked or altered or askewed to make this young man come to this point? To make this young man want to do these crimes, a repeated crime? What? And then to have him go to prison and be in prison and be a model prisoner, above average IQ, going through school, graduating in prison. But I digress. This woman, for her family, these women have to go through. The older woman, at least she can still get around. At least she still has the functionality of her body. At least she still can think and move on her own. But this young woman and their family, the woman is in a wheelchair. She can't feed herself. She can't eat. She can't change her clothes. Her school, her life is over. She won't get married. She won't have children. She won't have a future. And this man took it from her. This man took that future from her. This young man, this insensitive, cruel being took her life from her. Why? Why? See, I tried to do some background searching on the man, and I couldn't really find anything about him as far as his background. I found things in the present. I found things that from that point on, but I never really found anything else. I didn't go search out his Facebook or his YouTube or his Instagram. No, I didn't do all that. But I couldn't find anything to give me an idea of the type of guy he was prior to committing these heinous crimes. But again, I digress. Somebody seen something. Somebody knew something. He should have been able to speak to somebody. These lives are ruined. Families destroyed. Futures taken away. See, I truly believe that our young children today are being led down paths of destruction. That our young people today have no guidance as they should have, no realization or understanding of their actions, of what could come of them. And I expect to see more of this in years to come. Parents, family members, look at your children. Look at your relatives. Look at your family. If you haven't spoken to somebody, pick up the phone and just call them. See how they're doing. Ask their parents how they're doing. Be active. Be there. I can say it at times, I've been absent in my children are adults now, but in my children's lives. But I thank God that He watched over them and He raised them up to be good, decent humans, decent Americans, decent family members. But He didn't have that. Somebody dropped the ball. Take time out and talk to a team. I'm Cal. I ain't tripping.